श्री गणेशाय नमः। ओम श्री सरस्वत्यै नमः। ओम श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। ओम समस्त जन कल्याणे निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरम्। ओम श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं। So we shall chant the first verse together. तपोभिक्षेण पापानां शान्तानां वीतरागिणां मुमुक्षूणामपेक्ष्योऽयम् आत्मबोधो विधीयते. So we saw so far what is Atma Bodha, what is Swayam Prakasha Atma, your own Swarupa. Atma Bodha is Vritti Jnanam, that which is to be generated to destroy avidya. Once the avidya is destroyed, Atma Swayam Prakashate. We saw fourfold qualifications: Viveka, Vairagya, Shat Sampatti and Mumukshutva. So Shantanam Shat Sampatti, Vitaraginam Vairagya, Mumukshunam Apekshoyam Atma Bodho Vidhiyate. So Mumukshu is the fourth qualification. Viveka is not there, but it has to be added. Then, what is the means to become qualified? Tapobhik Kshina Papana. So, when some punya karma is done and little tapasya is done, and all the sins are destroyed, we get qualified. We become qualified for Atma Jnanam. And we also saw Anubandha Chatushtayam, Adhikari, Sadhana Chatushtaya Sampannaha. Vishaya is Atma and Adhikari Vishaya. Then the Prayojanam is Atma Jnanam, that is Phalam, Jnanam, and the Moksha is Phalam and Prayojanam. So Adhikari, Vishaya, Prayojanam and Phalam. Four we have seen. Sambandha also we saw. Adhikari, Vishaya, Sambandha, Prayojanam. What is Sambandha? We saw Pratipadaka, Pratipadya. That is the Sambandha between the text which is being studied and the Vishaya, subject matter. We also saw other two Sambandhas, that is between knowledge and the result. There is a Sambandha. So knowledge is called Janakaha and the producer. Knowledge produces, and the Phalam is what? Knowledge and Phalam Sambandha. The Phalam is Jnanam, the Janyam it is. So Janya Janaka Sambandha. And another Sambandha we saw Adhikari and if you take Adhikari and Vishaya, so the Sambandha will be Adhyetru Adhita. Adhita is the one who is, what the subject is mastered. Adhyetru is the one who is studying. That is Sambandha, relationship between the student and the subject matter. So all those things, Sambandhas we saw, but mainly Sambandha is between Pratipadaka and Pratipadya. That is that between the text and the subject matter which is dealing with it. So we saw yesterday, and Apekshaha Vidhiyate, Mokshanam or the Mumukshunam Apekshoyam, keeping them in view. This textbook called Atma Bodha is composed by me, says Bhagavan Shankaracharya. Thus we saw in the first verse many contents. Now second verse we will see now. What is second verse? बोधोन्य साधनेभ्यो हि साक्षान्मोक्षैकसाधनम् पाकस्य वह्निवत् ज्ञानम् विना मोक्षो न सिद्ध्यति. See, yesterday we saw the text is given for whom? Mumukshunam apekshoya. So for the seekers of moksha, those who wanted to moksha, those who want liberation, this Atma Bodha is prescribed. So, in this sloka, second sloka, Bhagwan Shankaracharya ji says, what is the means for liberation? Here, what is the means for liberation? So now, Atma Bodha, very, very careful listen. It is not one of the means, Bhagwan Shankaracharya ji says, to attain moksha. It is not one of the means. Jnanam is not one of the means. Then what? Jnanam is the only means for liberation. This is Vedanta says. So therefore, the question is, if Atma Bodha alone is the, what you call, means to moksha, Atma Bodha, Atma Jnanam or Jnanam, Jnanadevatu Kaivalyam. So, if Atma Bodha or Jnanam is only means for knowledge or liberation, muksha, that is to get liberation, if knowledge alone is the means, because what Shankaracharya very clearly says that the knowledge alone, see here very beautifully, Bhagwan Shankaracharya says, moksha eka sadhanam, sakshat mokshaika sadhanam. So knowledge is the only direct means for liberation. Now when we listen to this, naturally in the world, very few people are qualified for jnanam. Very few. For any other yogas, it's not demeaning I'm talking about other yogas. Every yoga is a beautiful, it has its own purpose. We will not go into depths of my talk now in this direction. But the question is that jnanam alone gives you moksha. Many other paths are there, but majority of the people, as Gurudev would say, Vedanta is the postgraduate level or even PhD level. So higher you go, very less people only study. You take any other yogas you take, for other yogas qualifications are necessary, but they are not as important, I mean not as required as in the case of Jnanam. Jnani, to understand Sukshma Buddhi is required, lot of purification is required, Tapobhik Kshina Papanam is required, Shanta, Danta ityadi qualities are required, Vairagya is required, but for many other paths, all these qualifications are not as necessary as they are required in Jnanam. There are small quantities that are necessary, no doubt about it. But for Jnanam demands high qualifications. So therefore, what about other sadhanas then? Why do scriptures prescribe so many other sadhanas? Like japa is one sadhana, you take for example. Japa or pilgrimage you take. Tirtha yatra, or you take puja, or anusthana, or vratams. Think about it. And there are many other sadhanas are there. The bhakti also is one sadhana. Bhakti also has different dimensions. Bhagavan Shankaracharya defines as bhakti as saswarupa anusandhanam. We have to inquire about your own nature, higher nature. That is bhakti. So what normal we understand bhakti is not talked here. So the high para bhakti, jnanottara bhakti, as Mahatmas say. Therefore, here Bhagavan Shankaracharya says that if jnanam alone is direct means for liberation, then all the other sadhanas are waste. Are they invalid? So Bhagavan Shankaracharya says, that all other sadhanas are indirect means. They are not direct means. Very important. We call it paramparya sadhana. You do one sadhana, become something perfect in it, then again take up another sadhana, then grow in it, then maybe you are growing paramparya. But here, sakshat sadhanam, very important. Sakshat sadhana means what? Direct means, meaning avyavahita. There is no gap. It is immediate. When you get the jnanam and the moksham, the understanding, the immediate. It is not that you get jnanam now and then after a long time you will wake up, understand. It is not like karma. Karma today you do karma, phala will come bhavishyat mein, kabhi kabhi bhavishya mein kabhi aayega phal, karma ka phal. ज्ञान के विषय में it is immediate, sakshat mokshayika sadhanam, very important thing. Therefore here Bhagavan Shankaracharya clearly says bodha anya sadhanebhyah, compared to many other sadhanas like japa, what we are enumerated just now. Jnana means eka sadhanam. Jnanam alone is direct means no other sadhana will give you moksha. It is very, people will get angry or sometimes. You know, I am a bhakta, I am a karma yogi, I am a samaj sevak, I do a lot of puja, I do a lot of vratam, I do a lot of bhajan, I do a lot of kirtan. What will happen to me? Are they waste? No, no. They all create certain necessary conditions for you, the seeker, to recognize the self. That is knowledge. So there is no compromise. Therefore, very important. Wherever there is Atma Bodha, Bodha Jnanam, then alone, there alone, moksha is directly available. No, jnana means not vrittik jnana. First of all, vrittik jnana only. Not that if you say that I have already read Brahma Sutras, I have not realized the Atman, meaning that jnanam did not take place. So second time again you read again. Like that in Vedanta Shastra, avrittis they say. Continuous vichar. So by continuous thinking about that, your entire personality will change, mind will change, it becomes sukshmat, sukshmataram becomes. Subtler and subtler, subtler it becomes. It will be capable of recognizing or realizing that Atman. So therefore, Bhagavan Shankaracharya says there are many sadhanas are there, but jnanam is direct means. Very beautiful shloka I came across. So compared to other sadhanas, whatever we saw, karma yoga or upasana you take, or ashtanga yoga you take, any other sadhana you take, jnanam is direct path. Okay. I came across a beautiful shloka. It says, Dhatur loko sadhito va tatah kim, Vishnur loko vikshito va tatah kim, and Shambhor loka vasito va tatah kim, yena swatma naiva sakshat krutohu. Therefore, in all Vedantic masters say that you have gone to Brahma loka, so what? One had gone to Vishnu loka, Soka says, so what? One had gone to Kailasha, so what? You may go anywhere. That by which or by any method, if you know the Atman, that's okay. Through Jnana, when you come across, experience Atman, that is the only way. Otherwise, you may travel in the creation from one loka to other loka through Punya, but it may give you an experience through Upadhi, through mind and intellect. It may give you travel experience of one loka to other loka, but it will not liberate us. Very beautifully said. Therefore, wherever you go, whichever loka you go, as long as you don't know your own self, as long as I don't know my own self, all these yatras, all these lokas visit, it doesn't matter. I may accomplish many things, but liberation will not take place. Therefore, very clear. So this is the thing. So therefore, any sadhana you take, but liberation won't happen. So knowledge alone, knowledge alone. Vedanta Jnana Marga, he says, first of all, gain the Vritti Jnanam, Avidya Nivritti, then understand that Atma Sakshat, what do you call it, Bhavati, meaning that Atma Prakashate, Swayam Prakashate. That Swayam Prakasha Atma has to be known. So all these sadhanas of Jnanam, so Vedanta sadhana only three. If you go to Vedantic sadhana, in Jnana Marga, what is sadhana then? Not puja, not homa, not japa, not kirtan, not bhajan, nothing. He may do, but the pakka Vedantins are there. They don't even do all these things at all. Their sadhana is only three things. Means that Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasa. There is no fourth sadhana for them. So, Are Atma va Are Drashtavyo, Shrothavyo, Manthavyo, Nididhyasitavya, says Brihadaranyaka Upanishad. That is the only method. So, Shravanam, Mananam, and meditation, Nididhyasana. These three only. Once you got Shravanam is done, Nididhyasana is done, some Mananam is done, Nididhyasana is done, but then you are not realized who you are. I am Purnaha, Satchidanandaha, Ananda Swarupaha, Sarvavyapi, Akashavat Sarvavyapi Aham. That experience has not come, meaning that understanding has not taken place, where that awakening had not taken place. Then what Vedanta suggests? Again go through Sravanam, Mananam, Nididhyasana. So many Mahatmas in the ashramas, they just keep spending, great seekers, advanced seekers. They spend time only in this. You don't find them even doing any karma. Pakka sannyasis are there. Those who have given up Agni completely, then they don't even involve. We feel that whether he is doing sadhana or not, but nirantara dhyanam. So this is a anya sadhanebhyaha jnanam sakshat eka sadhanam. Therefore, mokshaika sadhanam, sakshat mokshaika sadhanam is jnanam alone. Then gives an example. And beautiful example is given. What is that? He says, Pakasya Vahinivat. He says, Pakasya Vahinivat Jnanam Vina Vahinivat Jnanam Vina Jnanam Vina Mokshona Siddhyati. Now see, very clear. Jnanam Vina Moksha na Siddhyati. There is whatever you do, but without that supreme knowledge of Atman, moksha is not possible. This is the declaration of the Veda. Jnanadeva to kaivalyam. Eva prayog shabda. Eva means alone. Through jnanam alone. Now the question is, so many people of us that we just can't accept and digest this fact. Some people cannot digest. So they just can't keep quiet. Ravana Maharshi says, Chumma iru. Chumma iru means keep quiet. Unno panna venda. Nothing, there is no need to do anything. But are we happy? No, please tell me some sadhana to do. The teacher says, no sadhana, just sit quietly and meditate. You yourself in your Travanas seven suno, manan karo, japa karo, dhyan, not japa, dhyan karo. The student is not happy. He says, please tell something. Because Rajoguna is there. So we feel that sadhana means something we have to do. That Janma Janmanta Vritti is there. Something we have to do. Unless we do something, we are not happy. But after a long time of understanding, like Tapovan Maharaj, like Ramana Maharshi, like many other great rishis of the past, we reach a dimension wherein we are, all these things get dropped by themselves. Bhagavan Ramana Maharshi said, Pujanam Japas Chintanam Kramat. You do slowly, you do. I cannot meditate. That's okay, doesn't matter. No, I can't understand, doesn't matter. Then you please start your own work. What work then? You do your puja, you do japa, you do anything. So Vahnivat Pakasya Vahnivat means what? Like, whatever there are many causes for cooking food. But fire is a direct means for cooking food, is it not? Patra is required, water is required, vegetables are required, pulses may be required, spices may be required. All those things are required. But very clearly, what is the direct means for cooking? Agni. Agni. I'll just stop my mic for 1 minute. Little adjustment in computer is required. Yeah, thank you for interruption. Now, that fire is a direct cause for cooking. Without fire, no cooking is possible. So what is that cause, which is the direct cause in cooking food? Fire, Agni. Principle of Agni. Now come on, don't tell me there is other electrical stove, that stove, that stove. All are nothing but fire only. Now there's a beautiful shloka in Upanishad. It says, Yada, Shvetashvatara Upanishad. It says, Yada charmavad akasham vestayishyanti manavaha tada devam avijnaya dukkhasyanto bhavishyati iti. What is the example is given? When is it possible to recognize? They say that yada charmavat akasam vestayishyanti manavaha. If you can wrap around like a skin, if you wrap around the space, if you can wrap the space around you, roll the space like a charma, like a skin or a carpet or anything, you can roll it. Similarly, if you can roll akasha, if you can roll akasha, rolling akasha like a charma, like a skin, if it happens, then in that case, we can say, without knowing the self, you can be happy. Or without knowing the self, there will be an end to sorrow. So, without knowing or getting Atma Jnanam, Dukkhasya Antaha, the end to sorrow is impossible, like rolling the space. If a person can roll the Akasha like a skin, then we will agree that without knowledge, one can be liberated. Is it possible? Impossible. Therefore, Jnana Sadhana, therefore, Puja Gurudev, Jnana Yajna, Jnana Yajna, Jnana Yajna, Jnana Yajna. And for that, to prepare oneself to receive the Jnanam, Bhakti is required, Bhajan is maybe required, Kirtana may be required. But all these are directly, they don't give you moksha. They're very clear. I am Karma Yoga, I am doing, Upasana, I am doing. You can go to Devata Loka. You can go to Indra Loka, Vishnu Loka, Vaikuntha Loka, or Kailasha. We can go anywhere. Whatever Upasana Palam is there, very powerful. We will travel anywhere. But Atma Jnanam is impossible without knowledge. So, like fire is a direct cause for cooking. Similarly, this is the Jnanam alone is the direct cause. Therefore, importance to study, importance to satsang, importance to given to mananam reflection, importance is given to nididhyasa. So to prepare our mind, a little focus is required. So you can do little karma yoga. We are all bound by karma. Responsibilities are there. So we have to fulfill those responsibilities towards the family and society. That's all okay. And if we are avadhutas, or Vividisha, Vidvat Sannyas, not Vividisha Sannyas, Vidvat Sannyas, like Tapon Maharaj. They are not bound. Their presence itself is a blessing to the world, like Ramana Maharshi. So they don't have to involve in any karma, all those things. So, but we are on different levels. You may do, but remember that none of these sadhanas will give us moksha without knowledge. So, therefore, to gain knowledge, to know what is reflection, to practice reflection and meditation, these are all unavoidable for a spiritual seeker. Okay. So, Bhagavan Shankaracharya ji put everything as into karma only. Upasana is a karma. Manasam karma. Karma, of course, is a karma. Whatever you do, puja is another karma. Vratam is another karma. So all other sadhanas come under the category of karma only. Homa, japa, everything is karma. So all other sadhanas come under karma category. Only knowledge comes under separate category. So knowledge alone is a direct means for liberation. Karma, they are all indirect means. They may purify, they may make you, they will, eventually they will make you an adhikari for jnanam. But jnanam is direct means for liberation. Having said this much, the question is, if knowledge alone can give moksha, meaning knowledge alone will give you moksha, only knowledge, then, and other things cannot give you moksha, so question is now comes, why does it happen? Why cannot karma give us moksham? Why alone, jnanam alone gives us moksha? Why can't karma give us moksham? Because I am fond of karma, I will do karma. Some people say, no, I am karma yogi. मैं भगवान को प्राप्त करूंगा, कर्म करते 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 करते. आत्मज्ञान कभी नहीं हो सकता. The Shastra declared, Karma Yoga will purify your mind, and it will make you fit student, adhikari for Jnana Marga. Then you have to pursue Jnanam, and after Jnanam, understanding, of course the Jnanam will take you, Avijja Nivritti will take place, then Atma Swayam Prakashate. This is the Marga. The third verse, Bhagavan Shankaracharya gives the reason why the karma cannot give you moksha. What is that? Avirodhitaya karma. Avirodhitaya karma. Na vidyam vinivartayet. Na vidyam vinivartayet. Vidya vidyam nihantyeva. Vidya vidyam nihantyeva. Tejasthimira sanghavat. Tejasthimira sanghavat. Beautiful verse. Now, all sadhanas, as I told you, Bhagavan Shankaracharya calls them as karma only. There is no other, except jnanam is separate, all other sadhanas come under. So karma yoga, upasana, ashtanga yoga, everything. Karma only. Now, the question is, why karma cannot give moksha? The answer is, karma cannot remove ignorance, avidya. Now, what is as we have seen in the beginning only, what is the disease, what is the problem with all of us? We all have avidya. Avidya is a problem. So our focus should remove the ignorance, avidya to be removed. But unfortunately, karma cannot remove avidya. Whatever amount of karma you do, lakhs and lakhs of lives we may involve in upasana. We may get punya karma, we will get punya. We go to loka, that punya will get exhausted. Again come back to manusya loka. But liberation is impossible. So why this is happening? Because karma cannot remove avidya. Why? Why karma cannot remove avidya? Because avirodhitaya. Karma, anything, for example, you wanted to remove X. So there must be something which is opposite of X. If you bring, then X can be eliminated. If you bring a friend of X or a relative of X, that relative and friend, since he is not opposite, that person, when that X cannot be eliminated. So the karma is there. Avidya is there. Karma and avidya, if they are opposite, then karma can destroy avidya. But there is no virodhi. They are not virodhi, they are not enemies. They are not opposite to each other. Avirodhitaya. Why? Because what is karma? Karma is the grandson of avidya. Avidya gives rise to kama, desire. What is avidya? Avidya creates a sense of incompleteness. Avidya is ignorance makes us feel that we are separate from totality. Avidya creates division. Avidya creates limitedness, limitations, or parichinnata. So because of this, there is a desire born in me to make myself full. So I plus something makes me full. I plus something makes me happy. So I feel if I do puja, I'll be happy. Karma, I do happy. I will, if I go there and Tirtha Yatra, I will be happy. I will be happy if I do this, if I do that. Or if I'll be happy if I procure that. So there's plenty of desires are born. In fact, I have met so many saints. They say one saint in one ashram, Chinna Mission. So that there's a beautiful Shiva temple in the ashram, Chinma Mission ashram. Not our Noida ashram, some other ashram. Beautiful Shiva temple, Akhileshwar Mahadev temple is there in Prayagraj. I'm telling the place also. So in that ashram, our brahmacharya there was telling me, there's one Mahatma came. He stayed for 1 week in the ashram. And he would never come out of the room because he never went for pravachan. He used to get food to his room, breakfast, lunch, dinner. He used to eat and busy with his own work. So Brahmacharya on the 6th day or so, or 5th day, something in between, he asked, Swamiji Pranam, हमारे आश्रम में ये अखिलेश्वर जी महाराज विराजमान है, आप दर्शन करना चाहते हैं? That man said, क्या इधर नहीं है क्या अखिलेश्वर महादेव? एक और कहते हो अखिलेश्वर, दूसरे और कहते हो दर्शन करने वहां जाओ मंदिर के अंदर, आश्रम के अंदर थोड़ा अबाउट 100 स्टेप्स, वहां जाके पैदल चढ़ के ऊपर चढ़ के मंदिर का दर्शन करो, या नहीं है क्या? पूछा। अब ब्रह्मचारी जी बोलते हमसे कि स्वामी जी मैं क्या करूं, मैं क्या कहूं उनसे, कुछ नहीं कह पाया, नमस्कार करके आ गया हूं. बिकॉज यू नो दैट मैन सेज, या नहीं है क्या अखिलेश्वर? What will you answer? Therefore, there are certain Mahatmas also are there. They don't go anywhere. I have seen some Grihastha speakers also. So there is no desire in them because they feel that the Jnani, the Mahatma says that if I go to temple alone, I feel myself fulfilled. If that feeling is there, then go to temple. No problem. You feel happy, go. But this Mahatma transcended that state. मैं कहाँ जाऊं? So karma, avidya gives rise to so many desires in so many proportions, in so many ways. Okay. So avidya Avidya putra is kama, desire. And because of kama, desire, we engage in action karma. If there's no desire, no karma. So karma is born out of avidya only. So how can it oppose avidya? Karma is a product of avidya. Therefore, karma cannot remove avidya. Very clear. Avirodhitaya karma. Because karma is not opposed to ignorance. So when you suppose there is some opposition is there, then only you can remove. Very good. Okay. So therefore, here example is given. Avirodhitaya karma, because they are not opposed to each other, na avidyam vinivartaye. So karma cannot remove avidya. Any amount of karma you do. How example is given. So example is given. Vidya avidyam nihantyeva. It is vidya alone. Knowledge alone destroys the ignorance. Beautiful. Tejas timira sanghavat. Example is given. I said in Atmabodha so many examples. Almost every sloka we have example. So darkness, avidya is darkness. Vidya is light. Just as light removes the darkness. So गुरुदेव महात्मा लोग उदाहरण देते हैं, अंधकार फैल गए एंड जैसे कहानी बताते हैं कि अंधकार हो गया, रात हो गए, तो सब लोग बैठे, what do you call that, अंधकार, darkness. Or somebody, Gurudev says in his example, in his own, the king is there, he found darkness everywhere, he called army, come on, take the buckets of darkness and throw it out and come back. Clean away the room, remove the darkness by sweeping the floor. Like sweeping the floor, we cannot sweep the darkness. We cannot, by shouting, it cannot be lit. By whatever method you do, the darkness will not be removed. Darkness will go only when we bring a candle, we just light it, instantly, immediately, we don't know where it has gone, the darkness disappears. So friends, we all should understand. We should not be in a feeling that मैं बहुत कर्म कर चुका हूँ, मैं कर्म योगी, मैं बहुत भजन गाता हूँ, मैं बहुत कीर्तन करता हूँ, मैं बहुत पूजा पाठ करता हूँ और मैं बहुत ये सेवा करता हूँ या करती हूँ, मुझे मोक्ष मिल जाता है. नो प्रॉब्लम, नथिंग. So whatever sadhanas we do, it is like sitting in darkness and doing it without lighting the knowledge, without lighting a lamp. So therefore these sadhanas are all useful. They are useful. In what way? After doing lot of bhajan, sankirtan, kirtan, one day we will understand that enough of this, my mind, and after purification of mind, when says enough of this, now let me know who I am. Like Buddha walked away, Ramana Maharshi walked away to know who I am. Ihasanat naiva chalishyati kayametat. Karyam va sadhayami, shariram va patayami. Either I achieve enlightenment or I will just bury the body here only, but I will not get up from this place till I know who I am. With this resolution, Buddha Bhagavan sat under Bodhi Vriksha. Nothing is required to do sadhana. No Panchapatra required, no Ganta required. But we have not reached that state, then we have to do all these things. So these are all preparatory sadhanas. But actual ignorance is removed only through knowledge. Therefore, vidya avidyam nihanti eva, vidya eva avidyam nihanti. Beautiful thing. Knowledge alone destroys avidya, but nothing destroys avidya. Therefore, we must know. It's not that we should stop immediately our bhajan, kirtan, and all. No. As long as I heard a beautiful, read in a great Mahatma told me that Abhinav Vidya Tirtha Swami, our present, I heard about this, that Bharati Tirtha Swami is Guru, Sangeri Peethadipati. So I think it seems he is no more attends. I had a darshan when I was a small child. I had a darshan of that great Mahatma. So where they would perform Abhishekam every day. Wherever they go, the Peetham moves. And all the devotees are chitti there, and then in Shankarmat they watch the Abhishekam being performed, and some people will chant Rudram also, sitting quietly, neatly taken bath and separate. They sit in an enclosure, they chant Rudram and Namakam and Chamakam and other Vedic suktas. Abhishekam is performed. And this great Mahatma, you read his books, is very nice, great Mahatma, Abhinav Vidyatirtha Swami. When he was doing, and ultimately, when he was supposed, the Peethadipati used to do Abhishekam, and Bharatitirtha Swami used to sit next to him, the present Peethadipati. So what happens? When he was performing Abhishekam, suddenly mind stops. Not Jada, he used to enter into that state, and automatically he would, the hand will stop there, and pouring of water on Shivalinga will stop. And sometimes 30 minutes, 40 minutes, you would sit like that. After some time, he told, I believe, I heard about this, that Bharati Swami, now I will not be able to perform this puja part, because my mind is listening to Rudram, I am going to the meaning, Nijadhyasan, and then merging myself into the totality. So I cannot do, people are waiting for me to complete Tirtham, they have their own work, they have to go to office, some have their own work, I can't bind them here for 3, 4 hours, 6 hours like that. So year afterwards, I will sit here, you perform puja. So people are not depending on me that I should complete puja. I need to complete puja, Abhishekam. I can just sit quietly within myself. This is called puja, other sadhanas, meaning of getting dropped by themselves. Some people स्वभावतः पूजा में रुचि नहीं हो सकती, कोई बात नहीं, but they have रुचि in studies, they have रुचि in other मानसिक कर्म, ठीक है. But any amount of karma you do, it will purify us. There is no doubt about it. It will qualify us for Jnana Marga. But Jnanam alone is direct cause. Okay. This is how the third verse of Atma Bodha beautifully Bhagavan Shankaracharya says that Vidya Yeva Avidyam Nihanti Tejaha Timira Sanghavat. Like a pitch dark, Sangha means dark, pitch darkness. Like a ghora andhakar, thick darkness, pitch darkness. Light a lamp, everything goes away. Similarly, that illumination happens. At once, that knowledge that becomes very clear that I am pure Satchidananda Swarupa. Okay? Thank you, friends. Tomorrow we will meet. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om Sadgurunath Maharaj Ki Jai. Thank you.